This is the Lyndsay Stafford Show.
Welcome back to the Lyndsay Stafford Show. I am here today with my special guest, Joe Paonessa. I am super excited. I love all of my guests that I have on, but Joe's got some really cool things to share. Fun fact, we actually are neighbors. So we've been in the same neighborhood for a few years, and we're going to have a little bit of fun banter around the neighborhood too, while we talk about business. And everyone who's listening to this podcast has probably heard or seen a Squatty Potty. And Joe is responsible. He owns the company Edge Croft that actually produces and distributes all of the Squatty Potties. And they're made right here in Middle Tennessee. So really, really cool stuff. And think about how you bring something like that to life. We're going to talk about that and Joe's incredible experience. And another fun fact, he's not actually from Tennessee or even from the U.S. originally, but he is making a huge impact here on the community that he lives in. And so I'm super excited to have you. Joe, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we were chatting a little bit. We'll get into the good stuff, but we were chatting a little bit. We live in the same neighborhood, and I've lived in this neighborhood for close to 10 years, and you've been here 3 years?
Yep.
I think there's like 600 homes in our neighborhood.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Yeah. We built our first house in the neighborhood. We were the first house in phase 2. Well, there was like 3 of us at the time, like the first 3.
Yep.
So we've watched it grow through 6 phases.
Yep.
And we also were talking about a podcast I did previously with Alex, a physical therapist from Amplify. And we talked about a post I made on Facebook in Winchester, Tennessee. And it like got all this. So actually what the post was, I was looking for a boat captain. We have a boat in a slip there. It's a tri-tune. And I can drive the boat. I do drive the boat, but I wanted to rent it out. We have people renting our lake house. I want to be able to offer the boat with a captain, right? So I had posted and I got like, oh, you don't know how to drive a boat? Why'd you buy a boat if you can't drive it? It's like people are just so crazy on Facebook. So we share the same neighborhood. And so we have a Facebook page in the neighborhood and there's...
it's great entertainment. We never, when we moved there, we never had like a Facebook group for our neighborhood or anything like that. Yeah. Like the whole HOA thing is new to us.
Okay.
As well.
They don't need that in Toronto?
Nope. No,
Joe's
we didn't
from
have
Toronto,
that.
Canada.
Yeah.
Is that where you're originally from?
Yeah. We're originally from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Our parents all grew up there. We grew up there. Our grandparents immigrated from Italy to Toronto in like the 60s or 70s.
Wow.
So that our whole family's been there all those generations and nobody's moved away. We were the first ones to
until
move.
You did. And what I loved about
Yeah.
Toronto, and I know you probably hear this all the time, is it's so clean. Back when I was living in Maine, I was doing live television for the Shopping Channel and Home Shopping Network. So the Shopping Channel is like for those of you in the US, the equivalent of Home Shopping Network in Canada. So I would fly from Maine to Canada and do like my live, I was selling luggage on air.
The showstopper.
Yeah.
I think I told you before that my mom,
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Growing up when I was probably like 10 or 15 and it was always the Shopping Channel, the showstopper. And I would always give her a hard time because whenever something would arrive at the door, you hear like before Amazon and all this kind of stuff.
Way back.
There's always something being delivered. And I'm like, oh my God, it must be the showstopper. And we'd always give her a hard time. And she's like, it's good stuff.
It is good stuff. They have the best jewelry. Anyways, the luggage I sold was not pretty.
Yeah.
But we did well and it was really fun and it was exciting. And I did that for about a year until we moved then to New Hampshire. Or no, actually I think we moved to Maryland. I don't know.
Yeah.
I forget where we ended up after that, but I know I did it for a while and I got to experience a lot of Toronto and it was beautiful. But you're here now. So you didn't have an HOA there.
Oh no.
Now we have an HOA here.
Yeah. And
it's a whole different ballgame, about 600 houses.
Yeah. So I mean when we first got into it, I thought it was more just like, okay, here's your key card. If there's ever, a problem, you post it or I don't know, or you have something that you want to give away. That's what I thought. And I think that's what the majority of people do is they post, hey, I've got this if anyone's interested. Kind of thing. But yeah, there's some saucy comments on there and it's quite interesting.
Well, that some of the things that crack me up, I usually post stuff that's free. I'm like, porch pickup, it's on my porch, come get it. And if it doesn't go in a couple days, I just take it to, Goodwill or whatever. Not that I've never sold anything on there. I think Ben wanted to sell his trampoline. I posted it.
Yeah. Like for my boys, I'm like, they had basketball shoes. It's like
Sure.
he wore it for 3 games.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't fit on him.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, whoever wants it, here, next
Yes.
size up for you kind of thing. And then after that, it's gone. That's all I use it for.
But we get people that are like $15 for these old sneakers that people will post like
the time and effort that goes into like some of the things to sell. I'm just like, I can't. But me and my wife, we enjoy reading them and talking about them and
laughing.
And getting the popcorn out. And, when some people have, public disputes.
Oh my gosh, it gets so crazy.
Yeah.
People will just go, I think the most common posting is like so-and-so, and it's the same few people that will do it, like speeding. You brought it up earlier.
Yeah.
This license plate, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you don't even know if their family's on Facebook.
Yeah.
Or like ding dong ditching.
Yeah. No, I couldn't, post that. I couldn't do that personally, but I don't know, I guess some other people, they're okay with it. And it's, definitely interesting.
I prefer to handle any challenges I have off of social media.
Yeah.
You have not been around this long to this was an actual post. I believe it got taken down. The person still lives in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I will not say their name, but this is probably 7 years ago. So they live on Crimson Leaf, and all of a sudden it's like maybe 10 o'clock on a Friday night. And there's a picture posted of a box of alcohol, like all kinds of bottles, box. And this woman goes off. My husband came home drunk. He's got all these problems. He needs to go deal with it. I'm kicking him out. And somebody come take all this alcohol. It's free. Like posting it on our neighborhood Facebook page.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know what went down after that.
Yeah. No, it's that shouldn't be there for sure. That's I don't know what it's used for.
What?
But yeah, like some of the things are just like I just shake my head and I'm like, you have to be kidding me.
Yeah.
But some of the amazing things there is like 4th of July.
Oh yeah.
That is, I think, something that is something that makes our neighborhood really special.
Yeah.
And it's so such a big event. Like literally my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, the past 2 years, they come just for that.
It's a huge event here.
And, it gets everybody in the community together to say, hey, who's showing up, who's, contributing to it. And then the day after you get that nice video of like, hey, look at what we did.
Yeah.
And it's something out of a movie. It's an amazing experience. And, my whole family, we love it. We do it every year and, so happy to be here to do it.
It's really cool. The 4th of July party, it's kind of evolved in the years that I've been there. It used to be kind of in a different phase in the neighborhood, and now it's always on the top of the hill.
Yeah.
And the families that put that together do an amazing job.
Yeah.
Haley and her husband are really kind of I think they're kind of the main
kind of like
organizers.
Take the lead. Well, it's their front, it's like their front yard.
Yeah. And they've done that since they moved here. And she actually, her business is Stir Mix-a-Lot cookies. And I love supporting her. Yeah, they're super good. Yeah. But our neighbor, that's really cool. We do a lot of other cool things. I mean, I think there's like music on the lawn, and there's a lot of cool community things. And talking about community, Joe, you've been here in the US for a few years now. And I know something I think our initial interaction was like at the gym at 5:30 in the morning. What time do you go usually?
Yeah, around 5:30.
Yeah. So I'm in a different cycle right now because my dad had surgery. And so that kind of changed our cycle. But as it gets colder, we'll start going back to the gym early. We've been like walking and then working out. We also got a sauna. So I'm working out at home more because I'll work out and then go in the sauna. Afterwards, I'm trying to work it in. I hate it, but I do it. It's like so hot. I hate sweating, but I do it. But you have been really involved in the community. And so I think about, you've come here, you brought your business. I want you to talk a little bit about Edge Croft. And then I want to talk a little bit about what the work that you're doing in the community, because you're involved, you're in the same B&I group that I'm in, which is the biggest in Williamson County. We have, I don't know, over 75 members, super involved. And then the Entrepreneur Innovation Center, which you're also involved in. And I know you've taken it a step further, and you've actually had kids come work in your factory. That sounds bad, but it's not like kids work in the factory. It's we mentoring and internship.
We have like a program with the high school out in Centerville, Hickman County High School. And it's like a work placement program for the kids. So after school, it's, better. Like they could be working at like McDonald's or something. Instead, they're coming and working where I'm at. And I feel like they learn a little bit more there than they would, just doing like service jobs or waiting tables and stuff like that. So,
well, it's really cool. And then I know you're working with the Entrepreneur Innovation Center too, and which is right here in Williamson County, and the high school students there.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll start from the beginning, I guess, with Edge Croft, how it kind of came about and everything. So yeah, like me and my whole family, we were in Toronto, lived there our whole lives. And I've had numerous little companies that I've dabbled in and done things with, and got into, like, my background is like, I'm an engineer, have my bachelor's and master's in engineering, did a lot of automotive engineering. So I worked at General Motors, part suppliers. So I have a lot of experience there. And then just from working there, started my own engineering company where I did like some consulting and engineering certifications and stuff like that. One thing led to the next. I got into plastic injection molding, bought a company doing that. And then me and my family, we wanted to move kind of thing from Toronto, just for our family. So we looked at places we wanted to move to. We were looking at Florida, Texas, Tennessee, and then just kind of like landed on Nashville area. Came down here, looked in the area, thought we were going to end up in Franklin. And instead, after we sold our home in Toronto, there wasn't a house that fit what we needed kind of thing. So then we moved to College Grove. Never saw the neighborhood.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, I never saw the neighborhood. When I was looking around in Franklin, my boys at the time, both of them played hockey. Only one of them plays now. So I was like, okay, where's the hockey rink? And I just went to a random hockey rink, because that's the Canadian thing that we do. Everybody plays hockey and everything. Yeah. And I stumble across one, and there's the backup goalie for the Preds, and then a retired NHL player there. And I'm like, I know you guys. And we started talking, and one of them was like, oh yeah, I live in College Grove. And I'm like, okay, cool. Because I was telling him where we were looking and everything. He's like, you should look at College Grove. So I drove through College Grove, but all I saw was like the rec center. Oh
gosh. Downtown College Grove is like one light.
Yeah. And I was like, where's this guy live? I'm like, okay. I didn't know about like all the neighborhoods there and like how they're tucked away kind of thing. So I didn't see any of that. And then when we were looking for our home, it was just like a FaceTime call with like our real estate agent. And and then we put an offer in, got our home there. Honestly, after being here for like 3.5 years, we wouldn't pick another neighborhood or place. We were just so fortunate that was available at that time, and that we were able to move into there. And it's been amazing. And then after we moved and brought our whole family down, I started a company called Edge Croft, which is just pretty much like an extension of what I was doing in Toronto with doing plastics, so injection molding, CNC machining, and vacuum forming. So we're doing consumer products, industrial products, automotive packaging, anything to do with plastics is kind of like we're into kind of thing. And then it just the point that it's at right now, I still can't believe it. And like when I drive, like I gives me like goosebumps every once in a while. Like when I go to leave, that I see, I'm like, I've got 8 cars here. I'm like, I have that many workers here. I'm like, wow, okay, we're actually here. We just finished an expansion on the building. I bought a property out here, renovated it. We kept growing, and now I just expanded it. I doubled the size of it to about 20,000 square feet now. And within a month, it's probably going to be full. And it's just amazing how much we've grown as a company. And then one of the main customer that I'm doing business with out here is Squatty Potty. And we were doing business with them in Toronto. And it just kind of evolved to, we did such a good job with them. They felt comfortable with us that we were able to take over more business from their other suppliers that they weren't happy with. Mm-hmm. So initially when we were doing stuff for them, there was us in Toronto and there was 2 other injection molding companies in the US. They always asked, why don't you make a plant down here? And I was like, it's a lot to do it kind of thing. And I wasn't interested in doing it until we actually moved down here. And then now I was interested. And then once I moved down here, one thing led to another. And now I have all the plastic injection molding business from them. And then once we got that, it started to evolve into, hey, do you want to do fulfillment for us? And it was kind of something I brought up too, because I'm like, it doesn't make sense for me to take a whole truck, send it to, your warehouse, save that money. We can save it.
Yeah, we'll just ship it for you.
I could probably do a better job, in my opinion, of warehousing and packaging than your other company that was doing it for you. So it was slowly, they just kind of metered it, gave us a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And it's just evolving now. So for us, we're doing probably about 90% of like their Amazon fulfillment now, which is massive and blows my mind how many people need Squatty Potties.
Still. And they've been around for a long time.
Well, there's so many different colors now, Lyndsay.
That's true.
Yeah, so you have to like match, your bathroom.
Oh,
and,
yeah. That's a good point. All the decor. Do they do like patterns?
No, they're solid colors. There's about like 10 different colors. So I mean,
maybe they should start exploring patterns, like a Tennessee Vols Squatty Potty. People might like that here.
Oh, they're looking at that. They've tried to ask me. We've looked at it, but it's so expensive for like what it is and very specific. But yeah, we've gone to that. They're also getting into wipes now. So they just launched I guess Squatty Potty wipes that goes against like dude wipes and all those other kind of ones there, because it makes sense. You're already in the bathroom
right,
space.
you're in that space.
So yeah, we're helping them along with that, and yeah, they're just, whenever they have like a new product, not just Squatty Potty, but the parent company that has it, we're kind of like the first people that they like ask, hey, do you think you want it? One, can you make this? And two, can we give it to you to distribute, kind of thing now.
Yeah.
So we've just worked and created like such a good relationship with them over the years that I guess we're kind of like their first call when they want to do something new.
That's amazing. There's so much I want to say. I want to pull out one. You brought up like leaving your facility and thinking, wow, like I did that. And I think that's one of the coolest things as an entrepreneur, to look and go, wow, I'm like, and you are so humble. You are very humble. Like, I'm still in shock that I was able to do this. That imposter syndrome creeps in, that you're like, am I going to like blink and this is going to be gone because I can't really do this, right? And I think that comes from like really genuinely caring and wanting to do a good job, and also just never losing sight of being humble. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of, I think, like, as a business owner, you look at, especially when you have all those employees, it's like, I'm helping this many people. I'm helping them, have meaningful work, care for their family and themselves and everything. And it's, it's something that I think all of us kind of like hold dear to ourselves too, that it's not just for us, it's also for all the other people that we're creating jobs for and opportunities and stuff like that to keep everything going. So. And
you've come to Middle Tennessee and been able to create jobs and streams of income and bring business here.
Yeah. And I thought I was just going to be like a one-man show when I came down here. And
really?
I thought I'm like, it's going to be me and I'm just going to like farm stuff out to everybody else kind of thing, or whatever was going to happen. I didn't foresee having this many employees and everything. And I've got like grants and stuff from like the state of Tennessee. Also it's like TVA, which is like the power company or something like that down here too. And on there, the lady, when I got the grants and everything, was like coaching me about it. She's like, you have to say that you're going to have like, this is the threshold. You have to say you're going to have this many employees. And I'm like, but I don't know if I will. Yeah, she's like, just say you're going to have this many after 5 years and show the progression. And I literally just got the form maybe about a week ago to say, hey, you have to update us to say, where you are on your progression. And I'm like looking at it, I'm like, I'm 7 employees ahead of what I already thought was nuts or crazy. I'm like, I'm already 7, almost like a full year and a half ahead of where I didn't even think I would ever be, kind of thing. So, I don't know. It's pretty awesome and pretty crazy. And yeah, it's the imposter syndrome. You definitely feel that. And I think that's a good thing to kind of like balance it out. Yeah. That you don't go crazy. You're, you're making the right choices and you're being cautious as well, kind of thing.
Yeah. And caring for your people. I mean, I'll never get over the like thinking about payroll overhead. Yeah. And you're like, oh my gosh, and it's about the money, but it's not. It's more like the responsibility for the people, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%, because you know that you have to help them, kind of thing. And that whatever it is for us, it's like every 2 weeks, you got to pay this amount. And you have to make sure that, the machine is turning. You're doing what you need to do. You're bringing in business, they're paying you and all that kind of stuff. And like in Toronto, we went through being a manufacturing company through COVID and everything like that. everything kind of like stopped. There was so many things. And that was a very nervous time because it's like, how are we going to figure this out?
Right.
We were lucky. We stayed open the whole time and we actually expanded, which, looking at it, I'm like, how does that work? But it just somehow worked because we wanted to make it happen for everybody. And I looked at that too as like, I have X amount of employees that I want to take care of and make sure that they, have an income and can take care of themselves. And yeah, it's, it's something that you're always thinking about. There, even when I had that company in Toronto, I still have it and I still run it remotely from here.
Sure.
There was a time where one of our customers took all their business away from us for about 8 months because they, gave it to somebody else, and it was a very backdoor deal that we got everything back and more after because there was, I think, a shady deal happened there. And when that happened, I was just kind of like floored, and I'm like, what are we going to do? But we prevailed. I looked at it and I'm like, we're going to invest in this, this, and this. I don't even have the business for it yet, but we're going to do it. We're going to, I kind of saw that this is where we need to be. And when they're ready and when that product comes back to us, we're going to be 3 times as efficient, and we're going to just like knock everyone's socks off and do even better. And that's exactly what happened. It was, some type of shady deal that happened that is what it is.
Yeah.
But, it was a tough time to go through and see. And then also I'm like, it's like crazy. It's like you're investing money into like a black hole that you're not going to see any benefit from. But I'm like, I'm not right now, but I know that this is the right thing for us to do.
It's what's next.
To be competitive in the future. And it worked amazing for us.
Well, it got you where you are. That's a common theme for successful entrepreneurs is seeing the opportunity and also being able to say, this is where we need to go next.
Yep.
And I think a lot of times it's kind of can be a lonely world because the people around you don't see your vision. You're obviously a visionary, and you're a unique person because you can execute, operate, and most successful business owners can. They have a vision, they can execute, and they can operate.
Yeah.
You've been able to do all of those. I think as an engineer, it's really a little bit more special. And I want to talk a little bit about that. But when you think about as a visionary to be able to say, I see the future, and most people don't know what I'm talking about. They don't see it.
Yeah.
I saw something similar, and not the same, but my first kind of exploration into entrepreneurship was in direct sales. So I was with Rodan & Fields for several years at the height of, COVID, had a lot of success with Rodan & Fields, but they got acquired or they sold part of the business. And I could see where it was going. I'm like, they're going to get out of direct sales. This is all going to go away.
Yeah.
I need to have a different plan, which is, I pivoted and did something different. But 3 years later, when they actually did exactly what I said they were going to do, I was looking at other women that were like, I had no idea. I lost everything. I had no idea this was coming. And how did you not know that was coming? Like the writing is on the wall. But I think what you're talking about is seeing opportunities that are coming and knowing where you need to go next and knowing when something is kind of on its way out, right?
Yeah. And taking that risk. Because I think like entrepreneurship, like for sure, it's risky. It's not for everybody. I know that. Some people just don't have like the appetite or the personality for it. I don't know how I do. I like, my parents, I love them. And whenever I talk about like stuff that I do, why are you doing that? Oh. They just look at me. They're like, seriously? Oh yeah. Like I know you're like, I see you and your dad, you guys walk and talk every day. And I think it's amazing.
By all the dogs in the neighborhood.
Fighting them off. But I know he's also, you've kind of mentioned before, he's kind of like a mentor to you and you bounce so many like business ideas and stuff like that. I that's amazing. And I think he probably has like the same kind of like business or helped you kind of like create your, your business strategy and how you want to do things and everything. My parents are both very like safe and like low risk kind of thing. So even like growing up when I first got like my first jobs, out of university, I got a job at General Motors. Like, this is the best thing ever. And then within a year and a half, I'm like, this place isn't for me. Yeah. I got to move on. Why would you do that? You're set for life.
Safe. It's a safe choice.
Safe. You're set for life. Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
It just wasn't for me. It's not a place for me. I got what I needed. They paid for my master's. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, GM.
Thank you, GM. I got what I needed. it was a great experience for me, but I needed to go to the next place. And then I would work at, a part supplier, big company. I'd be there for 2 years. I need to go to the next place. And they would just look at me like, why are you doing that? You're giving up these great opportunities. You should stay at a company long term. And then me looking at it now, I'm like, where I was working at that General Motors place, that manufacturing facility, that car plant is gone. So I'm like, okay, I could have just sat there with the sinking ship and not,
right.
Kind of thing. Instead, not to say you keep jumping around for no reason, but I feel like every time I jumped, I was gaining, a little bit of knowledge, getting me prepared for entrepreneurship, which I think was kind of like the main where I needed to be. So between like my 20s to, throughout my 20s kind of thing, like every couple of years, I'm moving to a different job, gaining a little bit different experience in a different role at high levels, which was great until I was ready to kind of do my own consulting thing and then move from there. And, I think a lot of people look at it and they're like, why would you do that? And then for me looking at it, I think it's great. And when we talk about like the EIC and stuff like that, last month I went to like that first little event,
where they did the Goodwill
pitch. Yeah. So I was there and I was talking to some students because there was like 4 of them that were doing like some media stuff and were doing interviews and stuff like that. And one of the girls said, she's like, I was asking each of them, oh, what project are you doing? What year are you in, kind of thing. So they're all telling me. And one girl was like, yeah, I've changed it again. I'm on like my fourth one kind of thing. And I'm like, and that's not a bad thing. And I'm like, to be honest, move around. That's fine. You know? I had, when I was in university, I had an engineering manager who was like my co-op supervisor. I did my first real engineering co-op. I was so proud of myself. Did my interview at the end and he's like, oh yeah, you did great. You did this, this, and this. But he's like, I don't want to see you next year. And I was like really hurt and offended by it. And I was like looking at him and I was like, Bob, I'm like, why? I'm like, I'm great here. You just said that. And, this was lots of fun. And, this is kind of what I want to do. You guys are making race cars and stuff. This is where I want to be. And he's like, no, he's like, when you're younger, he had some choice words of how he said it. But it was pretty much like, especially when you're in university, you should be going around to different places and getting different experiences. It's the only time in your life that you're not going to be judged for hopping around every 4 months to a different place. Because if you see that as like an adult, and I mean, I'm sure you get resumes, I get resumes, and I look at like some of these things, I'm like, every 6 months you're somewhere else, or there's like 3 years of nothing. I'm like, what happened there? Yeah. But it was, I took it hard because I was like, kind of like, well, screw you. I don't like you either. Yeah. Kind of thing. But I took his advice. I went to different places and it actually was great. It was the right thing to do, to move around. And I think a lot of young kids, not young kids, I don't know. Some people just are, risk adverse, or they think you shouldn't be doing that. And I think if you look at it as like a learning experience, it's invaluable and you should be hopping around as much as you can. Especially just to see different cultures of businesses, how they run, how they operate. Because I mean, after doing all those different places, that first place I worked at, I looked at it and I could say, hey, they're great at what they do, but for a work-life balance, that place is definitely not for me. Yeah, wasn't the right fit. Yeah. So there's a lot to learn there, kind of thing.
Well, I love the philosophy of you kind of collect experiences and connections everywhere you go, right? Like I moved a lot as a kid. You grew up in Toronto. I was born in Ohio. I lived in Columbus, then Cincinnati, then Illinois, then Maine. Then I went to college in Boston, moved to, I was all over. My husband and I together have lived in, I think, 7 states or something. No, maybe not 7 states. Like I think we've owned 7 or 8 houses. Maybe it's more than that. I don't know, in 20 years, but we moved a lot. And so you take these connections and this contacts and this learning and this experience, and you take what you like from it and say, I'm going to carry that with me, and I'm going to not do the things I didn't like about that experience and go to the next one. Right. Like, and I think that's exactly what you're talking about, being able to do as you've grown your career and your business to where you are now.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of like our neighborhood. I don't think anybody is really from Tennessee. The majority.
Not really.
I think there's maybe about 10% of the people there.
Yeah, not a lot.
And it was very interesting, like when we first moved in there, because we like specifically took our kids out of school a month earlier so that they would have the same summer as everybody else here. Yeah. So that they would meet some kids and then go to the school with them. And then lo and behold, like my son's first day, he meets somebody from California that moved there like the day before.
Yeah.
And half of his class is brand new. And I'm like, everybody moves here. I'm like, no one's from here. It was an interesting, I don't know. I guess we live in like a bubble, or it's like a unicorn there, but it's a very interesting little setup and everything. And even for us in Toronto, like all of my cousins, all of our siblings, everybody's still there.
Oh, seriously?
And like nobody's moved away.
Nobody leaves.
And even our friend, like my friends and everything, like the majority, everybody's still around there. So to see how everybody kind of like moves around like the US and the States and everything, I'm like, it's interesting. It's cool to see. And I kind of like look at my kids and like their future, and I'm like, there's a place for you somewhere in this country. I'm like, if you like a certain thing, like my son Charlie talks about the beach and stuff, or like, and I'm like, okay, go move to the coast. You could live on the coast somewhere. And there's I feel like there's like a spot for you kind of thing. I guess with Canada, because it's just so big, less densely populated, and there's like nothing in between. It's like Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal. Like there's three landing spots kind of thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. There's not as much in between unless you just want to live in the cold by yourself.
No, it's true. There's a lot of transplants here. People do move around a lot. My son has been here since kindergarten. So he's like one of the rare, he's a freshman. So he's been here,
the whole time. Yeah.
The whole time. He doesn't even remember anything. I mean, he has some memories of, we were in Baltimore for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But like you, I did the same kind of thing. I took almost every opportunity that was presented to me for next in my career.
Yeah.
I took it. And I always had this itch to not work for somebody else and like not have somebody tell me how much I was going to make, when I was going to work, when I got time off. And I think the other thing that I always found was I didn't agree with the systems and processes.
Yeah.
There was always I'm like, there's a better way to do this. Why are we doing it like this?
Yeah.
And I still am always looking at how do we upgrade and change processes. I mean, we have SOPs for Stafford Solutions, but we're always revamping, updating. We had a 2-day workshop last month internally just to go, okay, what's our systems? What's our processes? What needs to be changed that needs to be updated? And I think that entrepreneurial spirit is kind of innate within you, even though you didn't grow up in that. And I didn't either. My dad was a VP for Tractor Supply Company. He did have his own consulting business for a while. So we had a little bit of that. But I didn't grow up in like this family of entrepreneurs either. But I think that there's this longing to go do something different. And when you build up enough confidence and experience, you have the courage to do it. And look at what you've done. I mean, moving to a new country, buying a property, and I know how you I know the story of how you got it, which is pretty cool. Yeah. You can talk about that, and then building this entire company and employing people, getting invested in the community. You coach sports for your kids. You're super involved in the community, and you do a lot for the community. That is in 3 years. That's like a whole new life you created. Yeah, no, I know. Every once in a while, we like me and my wife, we take a step back and we're just looking at everything and we're like, wow, like how we've created like a community here, and, personally, just like for us, our kids growing here and everything, and just developing like the business side and everything. It's crazy to step back and look at all that. So for sure. Yeah. But yeah, like with the property out here, because obviously like not obviously, I found it out the hard way of like when you move to a new country that you have no credit. Oh yeah. So, trying to buy our house down here at first, it's like, okay, we're ready to go. Give me a mortgage. And, they're like, how many years where's your US tax returns? I'm like, here's my Canadian ones. And they're like, we don't like those. Great. So I had to use like luckily I was able to use like a Canadian bank who operated down here. Okay. And not all of them operate down here. Wow. So it was, cause like I was, there's so many things you like learn afterwards. I was naive. I thought I was going to be able to transfer the mortgage from like our original property to the new one. And I'm like, oh, this is great. And then it's like, that company doesn't do business here. They do it just on the East Coast. I'm like, okay. Then you have to find a new one, deal with that. Also leaving Canada, which I didn't know until after, was you have to pay a tax to leave. That was lots of fun. So, yeah, you did tell me that. That's crazy. Yeah. And that's like not a low tax either. No, it's almost like a progressive thing that like the more successful you are, the more difficult it is to leave kind of thing. So it's almost
it's like your golden handcuffs kind of thing. It's
Yeah.
like, the more bigger your company, and yeah, it was a very eye-opening experience kind of thing, which I had no idea I had to pay to leave kind of thing. So that was something
Like
that
you can't leave.
I mean,
You're stuck.
you try and do as much research as you can, like when you're doing
Yeah.
something like that, obviously. And I was just like, are you kidding me? And it was,
Well, there's stuff you just don't know. And I think this was also before AI was so
who do you ask?
right.
Because I'm like, there's not like
Exactly.
everybody around the corners doing it or anything.
Right.
So yeah.
Now AI, I think would be more
Hopefully,
intuitive
yeah.
to be like, okay, what do I need? But there's still stuff that you'd miss, right?
Yeah. And then yeah. So then we got our property down here. And then after when I started Edge Croft and I looked for a property down here, it was the same thing. None of the banks would give you a mortgage because they're like, you need 3 years experience, 3 years of like returns to show that you're cashing positive. So then I just went door to door to a bunch of different properties, asking if it's for sale. And then eventually I had one guy who said yes. And then he's like, fine, it's like an owner finance kind of thing. So I gave him a down payment and then I pay him every month kind of thing. Worked out great for him. He's in his 80s. He, it's like a nice like retirement thing for them.
Totally.
I'm like looking at the whole deal. I'm like, well, I think if I was in your spot too, I'd be like, that's awesome. When you're not using it, he was just using it as like storage for all of his junk kind of thing. So, it was incredible. Like part of the deal was that he had 1 year, like we kind of like split the property in half. Actually not even half. I had like a third of it. So for 1 year, he was going to stage everything for an auction. And that was very interesting. And I was just like looking at it, I'm like, this is all junk. I'm like, this is all junk.
Did they have an auction?
Oh yeah, he had an auction.
Did anything go?
Everything went, which blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. I was like, are you serious? I was going to buy some of the stuff. Like I was like, he had a golf cart, like a crappy one. And I'm like, maybe I'll just keep it around here to just like,
Get
drive
from
around.
one side to the next.
Yeah, get from one side to the next. I was like, $300. It goes for $3,000. I'm like, are you kidding? I'm like, who's buying this stuff?
Jeez.
It was like, there was like a lot of things, but I don't know. Auctions, like I've done auctions before. Some people just get caught up in it and buy junk.
Yeah.
But yeah, he ended up selling a lot of it. But yeah, that was part of the deal, that he had like a year to do an auction and then hand over the remainder of the property to me. After he handed over, like I did like a bunch of renovations, and then like this year, at the beginning of the year, we had the idea that Squatty Potty, they wanted to get into doing wipes, and they're like, okay, it's going to be, because they have to buy so much from such all at once, it's like 15 sea containers that they have to bring over.
Wow.
Where are we going to put 15 sea containers? Not what we're doing right now. So we had to like double it to about 20,000 square feet. So I had another 10,000 square feet to the back of it. And that just pretty much finished like this past week with the electrical and all that kind of stuff.
It's so exciting.
Yeah, no, it looks really good now.
I can't wait to come
happy.
see it.
So yeah, no, I'm excited for you guys to come see. I haven't let my wife come by because I was like,
seriously?
Yeah, she hasn't come by.
You want it to be done?
Yeah, like when I first got, to be honest, when I first got the place, it was like such a dive that I was like, you can't come here because you can't go to the bathroom here. Because like I was scared too, and I was like, I wouldn't sit on that toilet. So I mean, she couldn't come for maybe like 6-7 months when I first got it.
Gosh.
Then I brought her, and she's like, oh, this is actually nice. It's nicer than your place in Toronto. I'm like, I know.
That's
take care of it.
Done all this work to it.
Now this other area that we like expanded into, I'm like, this is actually like, now that it's done, I'm like, this is cool. I'm like, this looks really good. So
I'm dying
excited
to see
to bring her by. My mother-in-law is going to come in October for a week and stay with us. So when she comes, she wants to see it too. So it'll be nice to do that. So
now you already are maxed out though, right? You said you have 20,000 square feet. First of all, I love that story because it takes that like, whatever it takes, I'm going to get this done. You literally door knocked to find your property and then
chased off multiple properties by the owners.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that was very interesting.
Were you like running?
Oh, I had like letters, and I was like, I'm like, hi, my name is, and I'm trying to hand the guy the letter, leave now. And I was like, okay. I'm like, I'm just looking at him like, all right. I'm like, I'm trying to give you money.
And it's Tennessee and they all have guns. You're like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah, exactly. I was just
property.
like, this might be the end. I'm like, all right, I better leave.
Did your wife know you were doing that?
I told her after, and she's like, why? I'm like,
But I love that story, that resilience of, think about all the barriers that we face as entrepreneurs, and you just figured it out, right? So you have 20,000 square feet now, and you're probably already thinking we're going to have to either expand or add another building.
Yeah, and I don't know where, because I mean, when you come by to do the, take a look and do all the photography and stuff like that, the just like how the land is, it's like going up like a mountain and there's like a river or stream kind of like in the back. And I'm like, I don't know where else I can go. So it might be a totally different property from there.
A second building.
Yeah. I don't know where it's going to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, that property I think is close to being maxed out for what it can do. So it's a good problem to have.
Well, you've been here for 3 years, so you have tax returns now though. So it should be easier this next time around.
Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah. No, it's been really good. And then, and then like the stuff with the community that we've kind of gotten into with like the EIC and stuff like that. That's been, really, I don't know, seeing that program. I wish I had that growing up. I think it's an amazing program. I think once my oldest goes to high school, I want him to do it. Did your kids? Yeah. So
did they do Ben is going to. Ben's a freshman. He didn't get in. They'd only, take
a certain amount.
Yeah. And so, but I'm like, okay.
I was about to say, you couldn't just say, hey.
Yeah. He actually didn't, we weren't sure what he was going to do. And so we didn't really even decide that he was going to do it until it was kind of too late to do it this year. Yep. He'll do it next year. Yep. And he definitely is excited to do it. Yep. So I'm happy that he wants to do it. I'm like, yes, both my kids are going to be entrepreneurs. I love it. Isabel couldn't do it because of some of the restrictions that she has. She couldn't lose her study hall, so she couldn't do it. Yeah. And I think she has a little bit of like, you want me to do it, so I'm not doing it. Oh, okay. She has a little bit of me in her that's like, no, if that's what you want me to do. Always the opposite. Yeah. Yeah. Don't tell me what to do. I'm not going to do it. And Ben isn't really, he doesn't really have that. He's kind of like, yeah, I think what you do is really cool, Mom. And like, I want to be a business owner, so I want to do that. Yeah. But Isabel is doing the business management entrepreneurship program through Page. Yeah. So she's doing it at school. Focusing on marketing. Yeah. And she knows what she wants to do. So she's going to go to Aveda. But yeah, the EIC is amazing. That program and the hub.
I don't know, that whole thing, just being introduced to it, it's amazing. There's a lot of great people to talk to there too. And even, I forget the director's name. Jeremy.
Qualls,
So even Jeremy, like, he's from Hickman, from like where in Centerville, where I am. One of his friends, his son was interested in engineering. So I had him there at my plant, for like the summer. He's going into grade 9 and he worked there, 2-3 days a week for the summer, got to, do some 3D printing, CNC machine. Cool. Play around a little bit. And then when school came back, it's like, do you want to work here? And he's like, I think I'm going to be too busy with sports, because he does basketball as well. So it was like,
there's no room.
Yeah. So he's like, I don't think so, but probably next summer I'll come back. I'm like, perfect. So, give him a nice little introduction. Then he goes back. And then when they went back, I do like the workplace program with like the school. So I've got three kids from there doing it. And then those 3 kids, once they started, 2 of them, I guess they liked it so much, 2 of them got their younger siblings to work there now as well.
Oh my gosh. So, Joe, that's so great.
It's just, I feel like that's like the best endorsement, that it's like, hey, I've got, they're all in grade 12. They're all like seniors. So I think that's how that program works. Yeah. So their siblings are all in grade 9. And they're like, well, if I'm coming here anyways, my younger sister and then my younger brother, so now I've got them working there too. So it's good. They're all, they're all good kids. And I'm happy to give them an opportunity, and then also like to make it work for their schedule. Cause it's a different area out there, and they have like some different circumstances and needs that they need to work around, kind of thing. And especially with what we do, it's not time dependent or like attendance dependent. Right. It's like, if you're boxing Squatty Potties, you can do it anytime you want, kind of thing. So, they'll ask to come in on the weekends and stuff if they can't make it because they have like a test or something, for school. And I'm like, by all means, that's fine. Yes. So they're taking advantage of those opportunities. And I think it's it works for me. To force them to be there Monday to Friday, it doesn't matter to me. If you miss a day and you want to work on the weekend, great, by all means. So it's built up like a good rapport with them, and then also with like the staff there too. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. The work you're doing in the community is so amazing, Joe. It is everyone. I love the EIC because for so many reasons. One of the things I love is the other mentors. I've been a mentor there for I don't know how long at this point. Yeah. And I serve as the vice president of the board for the Reframe EDU, which is the nonprofit that supports the EIC and the hub. And the people that I meet there, I had lunch yesterday with 2 other mentors
Yeah.
from the EIC. And it's just, they're like-minded business owners that are just, they want to give back to the community. And so you're doing such great work pouring into these kids. We didn't have that program when I was growing up. Same with you. But for Edge Croft, you know, I think about, as we kind of wrap up here, you came here to a country that, had you been to the US?
Yeah.
Okay. So you
every year I went to Florida
to Florida. Okay. But new country to raise your family and uprooted your family, started a manufacturing plant here, worked with a very well-known brand, Squatty Potty, across all of their distribution and manufacturing, and continue to grow it, employ people here, give children an opportunity to learn and grow. And you're just getting started here. So I am excited to be a part of your journey. It's just amazing. Thank you for being here today, Joe, for sharing. Tell people, because one thing we didn't really get to talk about, so you're going to have to come back, is you can produce products that people have that they want to create, right? So yes, you work with big companies, but can you touch on that for just a second and how we find you?
So you can find us edgecroft.com. You can email us at info@edgecroft. We can help you from like the start to finish with a product idea. So it's not just injection molding, you know, thousands of Squatty Potties. That's a high volume thing. But we can also do low volume production with 3D printers or with our CNC or vac forming. So one example was somebody at BNI, one of their friends was doing a putting mat, and they needed like the plastic white cups that like the balls go into kind of thing. They had a certain style that this is what they wanted to see. And then, you know, we designed it and 3D printed it for them. And then when they go to production, it'll be like a vac form kind of thing. So if anybody has like, you know, some crazy idea and, you know, it's not crazy, we can help you design it and then make some prototypes for you.
It's amazing. I mean, to create a business is one thing, but to manufacture products and create, it's still mind blowing to me how much goes into that. So amazing. But I love that. So if you have an idea, find Joe, info@edgecroft, send him a message, and he and his team will help you with it. Amazing things you guys are doing there. Amazing work that you're doing in the community. Thank you so much for being with us. Listeners, thank you for tuning in today. If you found value in this episode, if you think that something in here might help somebody, like it, share it, comment, review, rate it, watch it again. Thanks for being here, Joe.